Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the player ratings. Fulham 1, Everton 3. A big victory down at Craven Cottage to get the Toffees over 40 points. 42 points they're on now. Currently 13th in the table. And yeah, all building up to next week. What a good win. What a great win. So many good things coming out of this game. Some of the pictures I've seen. Some of the stats. The stat about the Pope is amazing. That's the best one. Everton have not lost. I've just lost the stat. But it's an amazing stat. It's just yeah, Everton have not lost the next game after the new Pope has been elected for over 100 years. What a stat. What a stat. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Let's get into it. Let's get into the play ratings. Jordan Pickford. Made 5 saves, one massive save at 1-1 from Wilson. I thought his positioning was a little bit. I think he got caught coming out and then he went back, and I was wondering whether it was one of those saves that he'd made by his own mistake. But his positioning was all right. I think it was just a really good, well-timed shot, but the save was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Not only to save it, but to claw it from the goal as well. I mentioned this before. He could have easily have gone in anyway. So the fact that he managed to claw it away, I think one of our players knocked it out. It was a brilliant save, and he made a good save from Wilson in the first half, getting down low, took a little deflection off James Garner, I think. It was going right in the corner, and he pushed that out for a corner as well. So again, Jordan Pickford being massive for Everton, and when he made that save in the second half, he actually fell on his shoulder and wasn't sure whether he was going to be able to what was going to happen, basically, whether he was going to carry on. I mean, listen, it would take a lot to get Jordan Pickford off the pitch with an injury, but I thought all round I thought he done very, very well for us today. Really, really well. So well done to him. An 8 for today for Jordan Pickford. Ashley Young came in, obviously. Patterson has been in that role. Jake O'Brien obviously had filled in there before. Seamus is on the bench, but he come on against Chelsea, didn't he? And he come on last week, and very, very steady, just a very, very steady player. And I thought he was sound today. Ground duels won 3 out of 8. He just looks comfortable. I thought attacking wise he looked quite good. 4 crosses, 3 accurate. Set pieces were quite good today. All in all, I thought he was just had a very sort of steady game. You can just see his heat map there. I thought he was quite steady. Didn't really get done by anyone too much. But I think the larger thing is the fact that he played. I mean, I think that tells you more about maybe Nathan Patterson's situation than it does for anyone, for the manager to play Ashley Young. Unless the manager just wants to look at everybody before the end of the season and thought this was an ideal opportunity. But it'll be interesting. It'll just be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, Ashley Young's out of contract as well. The manager might have just want to have a look at everyone. And he also might have thought, hang on, we conceded 2 goals to Fulham last week. We got beat by Chelsea the week before. Before that, we'd been beaten by Manchester City. The manager might have thought, no, why am I playing the same team every week? Maybe it is important to freshen it up. conceding 2 goals and drawing with team we've all been relegated. Maybe thought, no, I'm gonna shake this up a little bit. So I thought Ashley Young was fine. Came in quite solid, no issue whatsoever. So I would give him a 7 for today's performance. On the other side, Michalenko obviously got a goal. I do think he should have done better with their goal. I thought he should have been stronger. I think he should have come out and attacked that ball. He sort of gets caught underneath it and allows Jimenez to get the run on him. It should be him who's attacking that ball. It should be him who's seen that danger and attacking it, and he didn't. He had a bit of a shaky first half, but he managed to score just before the end of the half. I think it's his first goal of the season, isn't it? Only won 2 of his 5 duels, which is unusual for him. He usually wins a lot more, 1 of 2 aerial duels. But I thought second half he improved a lot. Got a little bit higher up the pitch. There's his heat map there. Got a little bit higher up the pitch. And was a lot more solid. And obviously got the goal that got us back into it. Yeah, it took a nick off someone who went in, but who cares? It went in. Everton players should start shooting more. They should start having a crack at goal more often. And, things might happen. So I'd give Michalenko a 7 as well, because I think the goal puts him on to a 7. Michael Keane, the much maligned Michael Keane, who's another player who'd be out of contract in the coming weeks, who's done himself no harm at all, trying to maybe get a new contract. Aerial duels, won 3 out of 7. No ground duels contested. Shots on target 1. Shots off target 1. I thought Michael Keane was solid today without being... He just... Sometimes this is what happens with Michael Keane. He gets picked in a side and you're imagining all the worst things. And then he just comes in and has a really solid game. And to cap that off, he scored the second goal. Obviously, really, really important goal for us to give us the lead. And he's done this all the way through his career, Michael Keane. He just comes in, gives you these little cameos, and then goes out the team. And then maybe, I don't know. He's done it so often during his career. It's one of them with Michael Keane. Imagine it. I think if you totted up all his games, he's probably had more good games than bad games at Everton, you'd imagine. But he's solid. He's never injured. And that's another reason why managers really, really like the fella, is that he's obviously no trouble. Works hard, does his job. And yeah. Again, he's an interesting one, because I think a lot of people probably think he's going to leave the club, but who knows? The manager might say, well, I'll give him a 1-year contract, and if he's willing to sign a 1-year contract, then he might give him a 1-year contract. I don't know. He brought him on, who was it? City, wasn't he? Brought him on against City, and obviously it didn't go too well, and then the manager decided that he was going to go with Jake O'Brien. But he started him today because he's needed to start him, because obviously Jake O'Brien wasn't in the squad, so there's obviously an issue there. I've not heard Moyes talk since the game finished, so I don't know. But he was very, very solid today, and his goal, it was great to see his goal score from a set piece. They've been terrible. I thought the set piece was a lot better today. There was variation. They were going in the right places. The delivery was better all round. They were much better today. And he scored from one. So fair play to Michael Keane. Come in, done his job, scored the goal, and he'll be delighted with that. It's not like with Michael Keane, it's not like people don't just go, oh, I don't want Michael Keane to play for no reason. There are reasons, and managers know that, because he's not the first choice. But as I said, he's no trouble at all. It'll be interesting to see what happens at the end of the season. So Michael Keane, I would give a 8.1 for today's performance. So well done to him. Jared Brandtwaite next to him. Won 2 out of 5 aerial duels. That's not great for him, is it? And only 1 out of 4 ground duels. Mixed day for him. Picked up a bit of an injury in the first half, which was sort of nagging at him a little bit. He went down a couple of times, and it was one of them. Probably just said to him, just patch you through, get through the rest of the game. We haven't got another centre back on. That would have meant either Seamus or Patterson coming on and maybe playing as an emergency. Well, someone playing as an emergency centre back. Maybe Michalenko might have played as an emergency centre back, possibly. And we would have put Young at left back and then put someone else on at right back. So it would have been shuffling, but he stayed on it. He did all right. Didn't have an amazing game or anything like that. I think it was just a solid game. I don't think he did anything amazing. As I said, I think that injury probably stopped them maybe a little bit. But second half, we didn't concede a goal, and he was part of that reason. So, Jared Brandwaite, I'd give a 7 for his performance. Adesina Gay, I thought in the first half, our midfield was completely overrun. He won 3 of his 5 ground duels, no aerial duels contested, 79% pass accuracy. I thought the midfield in the first half was overrun. And I think we were losing the ball so high. Decore and Beto just couldn't keep the ball at all. And that was allowing them to pick it up in midfield. And we didn't really start breaking them down till towards the end of the first half, when I thought we got a lot better. But I thought second half we got on top of it. And started to compete in there. And started to control the midfield a little bit better. And that's what helped us turn the game. That might have been down to the subs. He had 1 interception, 1 tackle, only dribbled past once. I think that might have been when Wilson went past him for the shot that Pickford saved. So yeah, it wasn't a vintage performance, but it was a good enough performance. So Adesina Gay, I would give a 6.84. James Garner, similar really. 2 out of his 5 ground duels won. Again, sort of. With James Garner, it is sort of like he is one of those players that you look at sometimes and just think, what are you actually contributing to the team? And yeah, it was another one of those games. Few good bits, few bad bits, but didn't do loads, but wasn't terrible. He's generally just like that, isn't he? So Garner, I'd give a 6.7 for today's game. Abdoulaye Doucouré, ground duels won 2 out of 3, but he spoke a lot this week, hasn't he? And I imagine a lot of Everton fans will be sort of hoping that he looks at a game like this. He lasted an hour. I don't think he contributed much to the team at all. There's his heat map there. I don't think he's contributed loads. It wasn't his greatest game. And him and Beto it just seemed like him and Beto were just losing the ball all the time in that first half. Like they just couldn't make it stick. Like Beto back to goal, he's still got loads of work to do. And it just doesn't work. I thought he played deeper today, but obviously with the changes in the team, the manager's left him in with the position he plays in normally. But I didn't think it was a great performance from him at all, and I don't think he contributed too much. I thought we improved when he went off, to be fair. He has to have impacts in games, and he just didn't have any impact today. Dribble attempts, one successful. 86% pass accuracy from 21 passes. But I thought we improved when he went off, and that's a bit damning, isn't it? That's a bit damning of him. So the core there would give a 5 for today. Jack Harrison, yeah, another one. He went off on the hour. Had a couple of had a really good opportunity. I think Charlie Alcaraz put him in, and he went past the defender, and it was on his left foot, and you're just thinking, just bend it into the post on the left hand side, and he hits it weak into the goalkeeper's hands. And And they're the ones where you're like, just a couple of moments at 1-0. Just want to see a little bit of quality. He just really doesn't have it. 8 crosses, only 1 accurate. There was one as well where the ball was sent deep and he heads it back. That was an opportunity, but the defender cut it out. But doesn't have enough guile, really, does he? Just doesn't have enough. There's his heat map there. I mean, the red spot's in our half. It shouldn't be in our half. It should be in their half. You're a winger. It just doesn't have enough guile for me, Jack Harrison, at all. So, yeah, a 5 for Jack Harrison. He's got a lot of work to do if he wants to stay at Everton Football Club. Charlie Alcaraz, probably our most brightest player. Got an assist for the 3rd goal. The fantastic picture of him, by the way. But it's on the thumbnail for this video of him in the crowd after we've scored. I think we have to make this lad permanent. I think for the money, I think he's only going to get better. And I think his contribution he makes things happen through hard work, but he's also a very talented player as well. You can just see his heat map there, all across their half of the pitch. He just works so hard and he makes things happen. And I think everything that was good today, he made it happen. And obviously put Beto in for the 3rd goal. But he runs, picks the ball up, he runs between the lines, and he really does. You know, he's been playing off the left, but I think he's better central. Does that weaken our midfield? Well, does it weaken it any more than the core? Well, last week at home, we looked a little bit open in that area, but I just think for me, 2 key passes, 2 out of 6 ground duels won, but not really asked about that. I just think he makes things happen. I just think he gets himself into really nice positions, and for the money, I just personally think it's a no-brainer that we sign him. I really do. When you see other players, and I've just mentioned Jack Harrison, and I think he's like one you'd mention. It's like they don't make anything happen out of hard work. And Jai's another one who does make things happen out of like hard work. And I think Charlie Alcaraz is another one, and I would be disappointed if we didn't sign him, considering it's like 15 million quid. That to me is a no-brainer for like a 22-year-old who is there still plenty more to do with him, finding that right position, get other players alongside, get a good number 6 at Everton, and suddenly free him up a little bit more. And I think you've got a really good player there. A really solid squad player. For 15 million quid, they're the kind of players we should be bringing in. They're the kind of players that have elevated Forest to where they are this season, is bringing in those smart buys for that kind of money. And I think Charlie Alcaraz is one of those players. And as I said, through hard work, he makes things happen. So I think it'd be silly if Everton do not keep him. And he's in the last couple of games, he's been given game time, and I think he'll be making. I think he's done enough personally. It's on the manager, of course. He knows what he wants. But for me, it's a no-brainer. It really is a no-brainer. So, Alcaraz, I would give it 8.2 for his performance today. No, I wouldn't. I got. Is he man of the match? Was he man of the match? Is he worthy of an 8? Go on, that's give me 8.2. Who cares? What does it really mean? Beto has got to be the most puzzling footballer, or one of the most puzzling footballers I have ever encountered. Ricky Kane on the super chat, thanks, says great win. Good to see Beto get another goal. He's been solid under Moyes. He has been solid. 10 goals now. he has got to be one of the most perplexing players ever, because for most of this game, I was just like watching him play, and he just can't hold the ball up. He, and that is important. Listen, that is important. I know a lot of people like laugh when you talk about hold up play, but it is important. You need your centre forward to get the ball, hold on to it, to allow you to build attacks. So it is important. But he's also got a knack of scoring goals. And he's in double figures now. And that's the minutes he's played. The minutes he's played is, the goal return is really good. It is really good. So it's on Everton to get more out of him as a footballer. He'll score goals, and that will attract people. They had him linked with Leeds, see him linked with going back to Italy. If Everton could get good money for him, could they help? That would help the PSR, and then maybe they go and get a better player. I don't, but he still scored 10 goals, hasn't he? And he's got an opportunity to few more games to score more goals. He'd be licking his lips at the chance of playing Southampton next week. But he can't hold the ball up, and he can't really control the ball. He finds his back to goal play is, it needs a lot of work. That's the nicest way I can put it. It needs a lot of work. But in front of goal, he's really confident. He scored a good goal last week. Today's goal, I don't give a monkey's what the goalie's done, whether the goalie should save it or not. He's took that shot nice and early. And the goalie, whether you think it's a mistake or not, the goalie's not ready for it. So has he created a mistake? So it's just a weird one, isn't it? It's a weird one. I know Baz loves him. He loves him, and I get it because he scores goals. I'm like, it's a mad one. I'm not going to call him a terrible footballer. Joe, you've called him a terrible footballer. I'm not going to call him a terrible footballer. But he can just wind you up. And I know there's this thing of like old footballers that didn't do anything outside the box. But football has changed. You still need combinations. Now, is it Charlie Alcaraz with better? Would that work going forward? Who knows? Who knows? But listen, fair play to the lad. He's using he's using his talent to its absolute limit, and he's scoring goals in the Premier League. So you can't hide the fact on that. His all-round game today was poor, in my opinion, but he scored a goal. He has scored a goal. There's his heat map there. But he scored the goal, got Everton the third goal. It took the pressure off the rest of the team by getting the third goal. Shots on target 2, and 1 shot blocked. 53% pass accuracy. Key passes 1. Won 3 of his 5 duels. He won 8 of his 11 headers, which is good. He's got a lot better at that under Moyes. Would people be happy with him if he was the starting centre forward next season? That's an interesting question. Would people be happy if he was the starting centre forward? I don't know if people would be, but who knows? Who knows? Listen, who knows? He's since Moyes has come on, he's gone up. He's gone up a lot. Yeah, Mateta is a good example of a player who was absolutely woeful in the Premier League and has learnt how to play football, how to control the ball. So I don't know. But listen, I'm made up for the fella because he always works his bollocks off, and he's without him under Moyes, who knows where we would have been? Who knows where we would have been without him? So I'm gonna give him a 7.3 today because I thought his all-round game wasn't great, but he scored a goal. So I'm gonna give him a 7.3 for that reason. But fair play to him. Fair play to Beto. he just keeps doing what he's doing. The subs, I think the subs had a massive influence or impact, on the game. Dwight McNeil come on. He did all right. He was on for half an hour or so. Did all right. Give us a fresh impetus. 1 key pass. 3 ground duels out of 3. Not amazing. Didn't do anything amazing, but just helped keep Everton going. Pushed Everton up the pitch. So I'd give him a 7. And Jai, 4 passes he had in the whole time he was on the pitch. And all of them were 100%. Ground duels, 1. 1 out of 1. Again, didn't do anything amazing. He was on the pitch for half an hour. Didn't do anything amazing. But just sort of helped the team. I mean, it's really interesting that he didn't play, actually, in Jai. It's really interesting that he didn't start the game. But let's be honest, he hasn't been great in his last few games, has he? So the manager decided to take him out and go for someone else, and that's fine. That is absolutely fine. Come on, done all right. Wasn't amazing, but helped Everton push on, win the game. So I would give him 6.7. Tim Burnham, come on, played 17 odd minutes or whatever. Accurate passes, 5 out of 5. Ground duels, 1 out of 1. I mean, they're the kind of stats you want. Clearances, 1. Interceptions, 1. It was a really good little cameo from Tim Burnham, to be fair to him. A really good little cameo. Just come on, mopped up, done his job. So a solid 7 for Tim Burnham. Come on, done the job. Like to see that. He's come on in other games and he just hasn't been up to the pace of the game. But today he was at it. And fair play to him, because he had, it'd be interesting to see how he had that injury which sort of stopped him this season. But we want next season for Tim Burnham to not be a player who is just someone you look at and go, oh, he's a young player, blah, blah, blah. You want him to be a player who comes on and makes an impact, or a player that when we're talking about the first team and we're talking about like, this player's not playing well, let's put Tim Burnham on. He's not a player I think of who should start games of football. I want that. I want that to change with Tim Burnham. I want him to be a player that I'm looking at and going, actually, I want him to play this week. I think he should be starting. Doesn't happen too much with. When I'm doing my starting 11, I must admit, I never ever look at Tim Burnham and think, you should be starting this game ever. I really don't. But I want that to change. So hopefully next season we look at him and he does become a player that it's a big pre-season for him. He's got to convince the manager whether he should be staying or going on loan. We need players who either they're coming off the bench or they are pushing players in the team to start. I don't think he's there. I don't think he's there at this moment. I don't think the manager thinks he's there. I don't think most people think he's there. But that's what you need to do when you come on. Have a solid cameo and not come on and look a little bit lost and confused so the manager doesn't quite trust you. But he's come on today and he's done a good little job, and fair play to Tim. It's been a bit of a mad season for him, but he has done his job. Seamus Coleman and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I'm not really going to give them scores because they come on and didn't do anything really. I mean, they had little moments. Dom went through with a one-on-one, but it was offside, and Seamus just went in and slotted in at right back and had a little, was fine. They were fine. But he didn't really do anything in the time they were on the pitch. But it was nice for Seamus to come on. Really nice. And then again, Dom getting another 10 minutes. We'll wait and see what that leads to. If it leads to anything. If it leads to him staying, whatever. But lovely to see Seamus. He'll obviously be thinking now what he's going to be doing next season. I think a lot of people hope that he starts next week, leads out the team at Goodison. It would be really nice. I mean, why not? If he's fit, I think Seamus should lead the team out next week at Goodison Park. Yeah, why not? Even if he's, even if he just plays 45 minutes, I don't know what his fitness is, but just I think it would be right if Seamus leads us out next week. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, and then Dom's a different story, isn't he? It's up to him and the club to decide what they're doing with the future. But Dom will not be Everton's first choice striker next season. Let's get it right. Whatever happens, Dom will not be Everton's first choice striker. So it doesn't really matter. There's no point moaning about it. He won't be Everton's first choice striker. He might even be an Everton player, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, there you go. The referee, a couple of people saying give him a rating. Listen, he went over to the screen and he didn't change his mind, and it was never a penalty. It clipped his arm, and his arm's in a natural position. I've seen a penalty given before in playoff game, and it was I seen they were talking about it on whatever his name is, the ex referee was talking about it on the telly, the one from the Samir fan, and he was like his arm's in an unnatural position, and I honestly do not know what an unnatural position is, because as long as your arm is attached to your body, I don't know what an unnatural position is. If you're going like that to the ball and trying to grab hold of it, I get it, but for me it was never a penalty. It literally just clipped the top of his arm. So for me, it wasn't a penalty. So well done to the referee. I don't even know, and the second goal, I don't even know why there was VAR on the second goal. It was a clean header. There was never a foul, and it wasn't offside. I don't even know why it took so long. But the mad thing was, it was already coming up 3-1 before my feed had it down as being a goal. So there you go. Great win. Everyone can enjoy the rest of the weekend, and I think the rest of the season. Now, it's going to be an emotional week. Obviously, leading up. There's going to be so much stuff going on this week, isn't there, leading up to the game on Sunday. And then Sunday will be it. The last ever game at Goodison Park. And I don't know how to feel about that, but it's going to be a long day next Sunday. A long, long day. Hopefully it'll be a very, very, it doesn't matter what happens. It will be a very, very happy and emotional day. I mean, it'll be sad as well, but you know what I mean. So, looking forward to it. Baz was at the game. I don't know when he'll be doing videos, whether he'll be going back to the place he's staying. I did say do one from the ground, but who listens to me, eh? Who listens to me? But I'm sure he'll do some videos, but I'm sure they won't be. They might be a little bit later, but yeah. So thank you for watching. If you're a Toffee TV Premier member, I think we're going to be doing the final word at about 11:30 on 12 o'clock on Monday, because we can't do it in the afternoon. We've got to go and do something after we've done the live at 1. So keep your eye out for that. If you're not a Toffee TV Premier member, why aren't you a Toffee TV Premier member? It's like the pint of a coffee or a pint for the whole month of loads of extra content, loads of live shows, loads of good stuff over there. Go and check it out. Oh, 1878 views right now on this video. How mad's that? Also, I'll tell you what the live count is, because I haven't got it on screen. The live count for subscribers for YouTube right now, as we speak, is 99,684. If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, please do. Let's get us up to 99,700 by the end of today or the end of the weekend. And then maybe, just maybe, by the time we play Southampton next week, we might have the 100,000, which would be really nice. Really, really nice. Just what a way to see how Goodison Park with Toffee TV getting 100,000 subscribers. That would make me cry as well. That would definitely make me cry. That's not an ego thing, by the way. That's a hard work thing. It's not an ego. It's a hard work thing. It's 100,000 people recognizing the hard work that we've put into this channel. That's all it is. It's a little bit of an ego thing, but it's a hard work thing. It's people recognizing the hard work that I think we've put in. So if you aren't subscribing and you watch this, please subscribe, because we have good times, we have bad times, but you know what? We're always honest. We always say it as it is. And if you want more of this great stuff, go and become a Toffee TV Premium member. As I said, for the cost of a pint or a coffee, you get a month's worth of stuff, and the videos are all the videos are without adverts, and without all the podcasts are without adverts as well. So if you're sick, I've seen a few people say, "Why is so many adverts on this video?" Well, number one, you're watching it for free, so there's going to be adverts, isn't there? There's going to be adverts, because you know that's how literally we get money to keep this channel going, is adverts. But if you go on Toffee TV Premier and you pay your £4 a month, you won't get any adverts, and therefore, you know, you can stop moaning. So it's up to you. It's up to you. But there you go. No, it wasn't Ned who managed to get it grow to 90,000. No. There you go. Posh Matty says my Premier is £5.20, but a pint of Guinness at the pub in my hamlet is £6.20. There you go. It's cheaper than a pint, and that's not even. He's not even on the lowest tier. He's not on the lowest tier. I think that's not the lowest tier anyway. We've never put the price up, by the way. The price has only ever gone up by inflation and currency thing. Stephen says, sorry, Pedge, you have spent the last couple of years slagging Keane off. So what? He said, rightly so, but so what? He said, he had a good game today. I don't know what you're saying sorry for. I always slag players off who I think aren't good enough for Everton Football Club. That's the point, isn't it? That's the point. If players aren't good enough for Everton, I'll say. Are we lagging? Yeah. Okay. Apologies for lagging. Right, I'm going to go because we're lagging. Apparently, we're doing a bit of lagging, so I'm going to go. So thank you all for watching. Make sure you keep an eye out for Baz's videos as well, and I'll see you later. Bye.